Today I'm going to be giving you 5 reasons why your back won't grow. Grow, baby. Grow. So the first one, again, is split into 3. So we're going to call it 1A, B, and C. And this is on form. Let's get the basics of the form correct first, because this is where a lot of people slip up. First of all is the thumbless grip. Wrapping your thumbs around the bar forces you mentally, unless you have very, 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 very strong mind-muscle connections, it forces you to think that you're pulling with your hands. It then activates the forearm. We want a wide back. We're not worried about the forearms. We all know what exercise you can do for big forearms, for fuck's sake.
Go and check my mail over there.
You want your hands to feel like hooks. Dead. It's just a tool to activate the back. Forearm shouldn't really come into it. And very little biceps, biceps. Point 1B is going too wide. This is something that for the longest time I was like, yeah, so if you want a wide back, you need to go wide grip. I did it myself for a very long time. And then it was only when I kind of like broke down the mechanics of it and looked at it like properly, I was like, that is the shortest range of motion. It's almost that exercise is more like if you're, say you've built a solid chest from doing, you know, like the dumbbell press and stuff like that, and then you've got one of those unique exercises like the guillotine press, which is maybe a little bit lighter, and then, you know, it's bringing it down to your neck or whatever, but it's very controlled. You've already built the foundations and now you're just trying to add the little lumps and bumps, if you get what I'm saying. But to actually build the foundation of a big back, shoulder width apart, the same kind of distance that you would bench with, maybe a tiny bit wider. Same way as on the bench, I like to have my forearms perpendicular to the floor. Not really out and stuff like that, not really too far in, that kind of thing. They all serve their purpose, but in this case, in building the foundation, start off with a lot of shoulder width pull downs and pull-ups. Same with the rows. So this one's mainly focused at the seated cable row, the lat pull downs and the pull-ups. And that is, you're too upright. Are you stiff like this? Take some advice from Fat Joe and a little bit. You don't want to be like flipping all the way back. You don't want to be all the way up. See what I did there? Slight lean back, so like 30 degrees. But then when you combine that with the other 2 points, you'll feel it. The angle is directly hitting the lats to get them wider. You know what I'm saying? Wide. Which leads me very nicely onto point number 2. And that is the stretch and the squeeze. Constantly, constantly, constantly. You see people just going through the motion. You see the mind-muscle connection, people are always talking about it. Every exercise, but this exercise especially, pretty much every back exercise. When I get a client and they're like, oh, I can't get my back to grow, it's always the same reasons. One is a point that I'm gonna be talking about next, but the other one is they're not stretching and squeezing. You wanna treat your shoulder joint as a pivot for a fixed arm. I think that's the only way I can kind of explain it. I kind of think physics when I think of this. So rather than it being a multi-bending joint, you want it to almost simulate a pivot with a fixed arm, if that makes sense. So and that's where you get the stretch, and then when you come down, you squeeze. Which then goes on to point number 3, which is pulling from the elbows and not the hands. You see a lot of people pulling from, you can see it. You can see, and this is where the thumb grip comes in. So they're gripping the bar tight and they're pulling from the hands. Like I said, you want to treat your hands as the hooks. And number 4, you're just shying away from the big boys. I get people coming all the time, they're like, hey Gabe, but how did you get that thickness? You know, I can get the width, but how did you get that thickness? Just don't get it. Can you shed some light on this for me, please? If you want thickness in your back, barbell bent over rows, deadlifts, and rack pulls are the best way to get back thickness. People underestimate the deadlift for back gains, and that's because the people who are saying it deadlift like shite. If you don't deadlift properly, don't tell someone that deadlifts don't grow your back. When people that do deadlift properly have very thick, dense backs. It's simple science. If you're broke, I'm not gonna come to you for money advice. When you're setting up for the deadlift, one of the cues is tightening the back, tightening the lats. You know, to getting it tight. So what's the first thing that activates? You have to keep it tight throughout the whole motion. That pulling that much weight and getting your back involved will give you thickness and density. The same thing with rack pull. Similar thing with bent over rows. You're shifting heavy weight through compound movements. That's how you get the back thickness. And then number 5, these are kind of like pet hates that I see. Even veterans, I see veterans doing it. I used to do it as well. And then I was like, well, I don't, this is the thing. This is the thing that I don't understand. If I don't feel it, why will I continue doing it? When I don't feel something working, I question myself. I question and I go back and then I look at everything and I'm like, rah, this is the reason why I don't feel this. This is the reason why this isn't working. The rotating on the single arm row, just the straight up and down on the single arm row, the jerking at the top. See the bodybuilders is like, ooh, 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 ooh. The thing is, I used to do it as well. That's why I can laugh and I can take the piss, because I've done these little things that I thought was cool because bodybuilders do it. But when you look at it, it's like, how is it helping? When you get super, super heavy, it gets to a point where that is gonna happen a little bit. But the more you can control it and progressively overload and then shift that heavy weight with good form, hey, Jesus. I've seen some people do it and I'm like, hey, arms Corleone for one. And that dude's the beast. But like, see him do the V-bar rows with good form. He's just strict. He's just like, these are my weights. Hey, piss off, mate. These are mine. So yeah, the rounding on the single arm row. Also, the hunching over on the pull down. So for contest prep, for example, I get a lot of female clients. And it's always a very, very similar thing when it comes to the lat pull downs. And that is pulling down and then hunching over at the top. Then like 3 weeks pass and like, rah, my traps are getting big. Can you send me a video of you doing the lat pull downs, please? And it's always the same thing. And it's not knocking anyone, but it's something that if you correct it early, you won't get into that bad habit. But it's the hunching over. So you bring it down, hunching over, hunching over. All that's doing is putting all of the load into your traps, rather than leaning back, chest up, bringing the bar down, and then really activating the lat, stretch and squeeze, like I mentioned in the other point. Who wants a bonus tip? On a bonus tip, you're gonna have to like the video, and then I'll give you the bonus tip. I'm waiting. Oh, cool, you done it. Thanks. Tip number 6, the bonus tip. This is gonna sound weird, but it makes sense. Be proud. Let me explain. Don't switch off yet. Don't switch off yet. Hey, move your finger from the X. Alright, cool. Stand proud. Like I've had clients who it's always like this. Stand proud. Stand tall. When you stand tall, you'll see it transfer into your exercises. When you're doing the lat pull down, chest up, be proud. When you're doing the seated cables, chest up, be proud. Bent over rows, chest up, be proud. Deadlifts, chest up, be proud. You're an alpha, so act like it. Be proud. But that is it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helped you. If it did, share it with your friends. Like it, because it helps me out. Leave a comment down below of what your main issue is with back. I'll see if I can rectify it in the comments. It might strike up another video to make. And subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Whipping excursion. I gotta pick up that person. In the trap, whipping that working. You know, a gangster. You just